So we have to talk about the Senate race in Texas between, obviously you got Jasmine Crockett, you have James Tallarico, and then on the Republican side you have Ken Paxton, you have John Cornyn, and Hunt. I can't think of his first name, but yeah, let's talk about it a little bit because we got some new polling. That's honestly good news for Republicans. Let's jump into it.
We are a little more than 1 week away from the start of early voting in the March primary elections.
The new polling is offering new insights into Texas's competitive U.S. Senate race. It shows Republican Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton and Democratic U.S. Representative Jasmine Crockett leading their respective primary races.
KVU's Daniel Perot is here with a closer look at the poll and the state of the race as Texans get ready to start voting. Daniel?
Yeah,
Wesley is his first name. Now it came to me. Wesley Hunt is the third Republican that I couldn't remember his first name.
New polling was conducted late last month by the University of Houston's Hobby School of Public Affairs. It surveyed 550 likely Democrat and Republican primary voters. It showed that Ken Paxton is leading the incumbent Senator John Cornyn by 7 points and Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett ahead of State Representative James Tallarico by 8 points. Both of those are outside the margin of error. It is interesting because some other recent polls have had both those races as neck and neck. For candidates and campaigns, it's the home stretch before early voting.
You only have about a week left to make sure that you can reach all of those voters.
A new survey of likely primary voters by the University of Houston shows Attorney General Ken Paxton leading Senator John Cornyn 38-31, with Wesley Hunt in a distant third place at 17%, 12%.
Stick around. We're going to be talking about this group some more later on in the video after we get past this. All right. So stick around.
Are not decided.
It's a virtual certainty that we're going to have a runoff in the Republican U.S. Senate primary. The only question is who are the two people in that runoff?
According to the survey, Paxton has an advantage in a runoff. More than half of Republican primary voters say an endorsement by President Trump would make them more likely to support a candidate. So far, he stayed out of the race.
He could, if he wanted to, boost Hunt into that runoff and particularly into the Senate.
On the other side, 47% of likely Democratic primary voters say they support Jasmine Crockett over James Tallarico. Crockett led Tallarico in most key demographic groups, except for white voters and those who have an advanced degree.
Overwhelming majority of African-American voters intend to vote for her, and they intend to turn out to vote in larger numbers than normal for a Democratic primary.
In the survey, Crockett has a 7-point lead among Latino voters overall and a 20-point lead among Latino women, while Tallarico has a 6-point lead among Latino men.
We're in the Democratic primary where 60% are women and 40% are men.
In a head-to-head general election matchup, both Paxton and Cornyn polled ahead of Crockett by 2 points. Paxton is slightly better than Cornyn against Tallarico. Hunt has the largest margin, leading Tallarico by 4 points.
Right now, at least in the U.S. Senate race, it's a coin flip.
For Republicans, the gloves are off with attack ads. Experts say that has given voters overall more negative opinions on the three candidates.
And while Wesley Hunt is significantly behind Cornyn, the Paxton campaign wants to make sure that he doesn't somehow catch up.
In the survey, 50% of Texans said they do not approve of the job that President Trump is doing. 49% said they approve of it. While they were evenly divided on if the state of Texas is headed in the right direction, a majority, more than 50%, said they believe the country is on the wrong track. Early
And yet Republicans still win. So let's dive into some of these numbers a little bit more, right? I want to throw this up on your screen. So here you have Ken Paxton, John Cornyn, and Wesley Hunt head to head. The latest polls, the last three all have Ken Paxton. Well, the last four all have Ken Paxton in the lead. Okay, very clearly in the lead. And over here, unfortunately, Wesley Hunt doesn't win anything. He isn't in the lead in any of them. To be quite honest, I don't even know why Wesley Hunt even got in the race. I think that's a little suspicious. But like I said, we'll jump into that a little bit later. Dive more into that a little bit later. Now, over here on the Democrat side, you have James Tallarico and Jasmine Crash Out Crockett. Okay, in the latest poll, she's got a massive lead here, but a month ago it was flipped. Now, what has happened since then is James Tallarico, he's had that old Democrat trick pulled on him. You know, he's been called racist. Yeah, he's gotten a taste of his own medicine, and it seems like it's worked, right? It seems like it has worked because he went from comfortably in the lead to pretty far behind, right? And the only thing that has happened is he's been accused of being racist since that time. So, yeah, congratulations, James. You have officially played yourself. It's the bed you made. Now you must lie in it. Now, in a head-to-head, all right, James Tallarico versus Ken Paxton. You see here, we typically have about a 2-3 margin here. There's a 1 there, but the latest is a 2, right? 2 points ahead. Basically the same thing with John Cornyn. You got a 1, you got a 3, you got a 3 there, right? These ones are actually pretty old. These ones are from last year, so we'll only just go with the top 2. So you got 3 and you got 1. Hunt has a little bit of a bigger gap against Crockett. Ken Paxton wins. This one says it's a tie, the Emerson poll. But the latest poll, the Houston poll, has him up 2. Same thing with John Cornyn, and Wesley Hunt has a lead of 3. Now, I know what you guys are probably thinking. Well, Wesley Hunt has the lead. Why don't you want him? Well, my thing is, so Ken Paxton announced that he was going to run. I mean, a long time ago. Long time ago. He's been in the race. I remember it. And Wesley Hunt just came out of nowhere. Just came out of left field. And to me, and I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. To me, it almost feels like somebody wanted Wesley Hunt to be there because they didn't want Ken Paxton to win. Because Ken Paxton was comfortably beating out John Cornyn. And then Wesley Hunt hopped in, and then the gap became a little bit closer. So I don't know. Take that for what you want. I'm not saying that it's absolutely true. I'm just saying I got a raised eyebrow at it. You know, like, Wesley, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're not going to win this. Ken Paxton has been in the race against John Cornyn. And it would make sense if, everybody felt like Ken Paxton was a rhino. But I genuinely don't feel that way. But before we get into that, I do want to put this up on the screen for everyone because I will be going down the list of primary races, and we're going to be talking about them. All right, so you could pause this and screenshot it if you need to, if you want to. Here are the primary races. The start of the I can't even talk. Goodness gracious, jeez Louise, I sound like Joe Biden right now. Here's the dates for the primaries. Okay, so you got Arkansas, North Carolina, and Texas. They're up first. Mississippi, March 10th. Illinois, March 17th. Indiana, Ohio, May 5th. Nebraska, West Virginia, May 12th. Louisiana, May 16th. Right? So pause it if you need to. Write down the date so you guys have all of these dates set so you know what's going on and when it's going on. All right? Rewind it if you if I have to skip ahead, rewind it. You can rewind it back and pause it if you need to and take the screenshot. But there's all the dates for everybody. And like I said, I will be talking about these primary races in all of these states. And I'll be talking about them in order, okay? So, obviously you got Arkansas, North Carolina, Texas first, then Mississippi, then Illinois, and so forth and so forth. Because these obviously aren't all on the same days, okay? So there you have it. Just wanted to put that up on the screen so you guys had that information. Now, on to who I think we should be supporting, which is this guy here, Ken Paxton. The guy who was in the lead. Comfortably, I mean, he's still in the lead, but comfortably in the lead until Wesley Hunt randomly decided to jump in, which once again, the jury's out. I mean, I've liked Wesley Hunt thus far, but this move is kind of making me scratch my head a little bit. Like, what are you doing, son? What are you doing? Anyway, let's talk about John Cornyn now. The guy who I like to believe and know is a RINO. I'm going to play a video for you guys and let me know what you think about John Cornyn. Here he is.
I fully expect, unless there's some surprise that none of us know anything about right now, that Joe Biden will be the next president.
Strong words from U.S. Senator John Cornyn out of Texas. The Republican says former President Donald Trump can't win the 2024 general election for president. He also says the GOP needs to find a candidate who actually can. This was all in a call with Texas reporters. Cornyn saying, "I think President Trump's time has passed him by." And he adds, "I don't think President Trump understands that when you run in a general election, you got to appeal to voters beyond your base."
Mr. President, I rise today to mark an important milestone for our friend, Senator Mitch McConnell. Senator McConnell's done it the old-fashioned way. He earned it. He earned this role as our leader and the respect, certainly, that goes along with it. But more than that, he's a rare example of what a senator ought to be. So thank you, Senator McConnell, for your example. Thank you for your mentorship and for your friendship.
Just a few weeks into our partnership as leader and whip, John presented me with a birthday gift. He'd framed and autographed a picture of ourselves. Just an ordinary, not particularly glamorous shot of the two of us.
Okay, so you get the message. Anybody who is speaking like that of Mitch McConnell, I'm not saying you got to speak down on the man, right? I'm not saying that you got to wish death on him or nothing like that. I'm not advocating for that, okay? But anytime that you say that's what senators should be, like Mitch McConnell, yeah, you've automatically lost me. Mitch McConnell is absolutely garbage. I mean, he is dog water, straight trash, garbage. Mitch McConnell shouldn't have even been a senator in the first place. I don't even know how the hell he became a senator, but we ain't gonna go down that whole path, right? So you got it there. And now I want to take you over to the Liberty score, and this is all you need to see. Yep. He's got an F. Straight up F. Fail. And the way that I see these Liberty scores, right? Any Republican with less than a B, anybody with a C and under, you got to go. You got to be voted out. You must be voted out. You guys want to see where Mitch McConnell is on this? I believe Mitch McConnell's in the 50s too. So he was at 54. Oh, Mitch McConnell was at 44. With an F. Yeah, so right in Mitch McConnell's ballpark. John Cornyn was at 54. Mitch McConnell was at 44. So there you go. There you go. That's that right there on your screen. That's all you need to see right there. F. Straight up F. I mean, he's literally, Mitch McConnell is literally, what's her name? Goodness gracious. Now I'm Omar. Ilhan Omar. Let's see here. Let me pull up Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar has a Liberty score of 22. Obviously, she has an F, but she's a Democrat. So you expect her to have a low score. 22. Mitch McConnell is 20 points above her. 20. That is it. John Cornyn is only 30 above Ilhan Omar. Far leftist Ilhan Omar. 30 points above. Is that who you really want representing you still? You know, I'm just saying. 22. Let's go to Lisa Murkowski real quick because I want to see something. Let's go to Lisa Murkowski or Susan Collins. Excuse me. Lisa Murkowski is from Alaska. Susan Collins. Yeah, Susan Collins has a worse score than Ilhan Omar. Incredible. But we'll be talking about that later because actually Susan Collins announced that she is officially running for re-election in the Senate. And she has a worse Liberty score than Ilhan Omar, than a Democrat. Yeah, crazy. Anyway, y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions about all of this. I think this is quite interesting. Obviously, with the whole Jasmine Crockett situation, her being in the lead helps us out because on the grand scale, she is unelectable, right? James Tallarico would, I think, have the better appeal to the middling kind of folks, or even Republicans who are like teetering on the edge, right? That are like barely Republican. he would be the more he would be the easier pick for those types of folks. Jasmine Crockett, I don't see her as being very electable for most people, right? She has the nickname Crash Out for a reason. You know what I mean? So great news for Republicans, and then obviously with the three gentlemen, Wesley Hunt, Ken Paxton, John Cornyn. The guy who I think should win is currently in the lead. Let's hope that it stays that way. You guys let me know your thoughts and your opinions about all of this. Who are you voting for, or who would you support if you were in that state? Let me know in the comments, all right? Stay safe. Peace and love. I'm out.